Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new mini-series here on twitch.tv/Help Action Needed. I am Sean. You can find me all across the internet at Help Action Needed. It's simple that way. This episode is not live. If you're seeing me, I am 3 weeks in the past, and so are all of these people. Next week and the week after, we'll be live. Schedules are hard. So thank you for being with us in chat. We're going to be hanging out with all of you. We're going to be talking alongside of you more than we would normally because this is pre-recorded. But with that said, let's go ahead and introduce the people. So, Angel, would you like to introduce us to who you are, say where people can find you, and tell us who your character is going to be?
Yeah, my name's Angel. As Sean said, I am playing Dax. It's short for Lenadak. It's my pronouns are they them. I am a actual play actor for Detention Gaming, and you can find me at Detention Gaming, and it's D10, and then the rest of TION Gaming. And that'll connect you to us, and I'm really excited to be doing this today. I'm not sure if that's all you needed, Sean.
Yeah, that's great. Adrian.
Hello, hi. My name is AC Lawrence, Adrian, whatever you'd like to call me. I have a little podcast called Dungeon and Degrees where I talk to a bunch of cool people, and it's a good time. Had Sean on, and many more to come. Yeah, pronouns he and he. I'm playing Sift today, a shadow, with a big old hole in his what would you call a chest? Unsure. But yeah, that is me.
Lynn.
Hi, I am Clin, Clinstra on a lot of socials. If not, tell me where to go. I am a AP noob. This is actually my first AP as a character, or as a PC. I've done one, at this point in time, I've done one game as a GM. So happy to be here. Thank you for having me, Sean and team. Today I am playing you, who is a skeleton druid, hence the makeup. I don't normally do this on a normal day, despite what other people may tell you. So
Then I'll pass it over to our storyteller to introduce yourself and the game.
Yeah. So hello everybody. I'm Wiz or Yanis. You can find me as Wizard Styles. I would say everywhere, but I'm really only active on Blue Sky. If you can call that active. Yeah, well, yeah. And today we will play Grimwild. Grimwild is a fairly new system that has been designed specifically to essentially capture the stories of Dungeons and Dragons, but use a more narrative system. It is very heavily based on Blades in the Dark. So what you won't see here is grid-based combat, but what you will see is a lot of narrative dice rolls where the players make specific moves to dodge, I don't know, a boulder that is rolling their way or something like that. And as you may have noticed, all of our characters are undead, which brings us to the setting. Our characters make their home in the Spire of Bones, a giant necropolis in the middle of the wild wastes, which is warded against the chaotic magic of the wastes. It's not entirely insulated, but it is home to many undead left in the wake of the Great Unraveling, a magical apocalypse that happened an indeterminate time away. We're leaving this intentionally vague so we can improv our way through it. Our protagonists are among the lower, if not to say lowest ranks of the undead. Their unlife isn't worth a whole lot, but there are always opportunities for those who are willing to take calculated or also wildly inadvisable risks. Risks such as going into the monster-infested wild wastes at the behest of a vampire countess to steal an artifact known to them only as the Crown of Fools. They don't know what it does. I may or may not know it myself yet. What we do know is it has considerable power and it is guarded by the three-headed Etin. So, good luck to the player characters. And we will begin now. We are already in the Wild Wastes. It has been around a week since you, Erin, Dax, and Sift were tasked with retrieving the artifact. Now we are here in the wastes, jagged rock protruding out of the ground, craters left by magical calamity, and unfortunately, just as the ground is broken, so is the sky right now. Dark clouds have gathered. They're not the gray of rain clouds. Unfortunately for you, they are blood red, sickly green. Some are an entirely unnatural purple, and other colors indicating to you wild magic. So it's been a week since you've been tasked by the vampire countess to retrieve the artifact. It's been a day since you left the Spire of Bones, and it has been about 20 seconds since a magical storm, a maelstrom, suddenly formed right overhead. I made a hidden roll earlier, and it came up with Dax. Dax,
Of course it
would you please? Hey, Sean was complaining earlier that Foundry hates him. I was like, well, actually, not today.
Foundry and I do not have a good history.
Yeah. See these clouds gathering overhead, and immediately they break. Something bursts forth. What is it, and how can you evade it?
Oh, what is it?
Yeah, what comes out of the magic cloud right at you?
Let's do. It's magic, right?
I mean, it
We're gonna-
can just be regular lightning.
Okay, then we'll start easy. We'll do a regular lightning bolt comes at us.
All right.
And
Okay.
to evade it, I'm going to attempt to roll out of the way with my big body.
Okay. So I think that would just be a brawn roll. So the way dice rolls work, this is for the audience, but also to remind us, because I think not everybody has played a game like this before. I pretty much say, okay, you have your stats. They are brawn, agility, wits, presence, and you roll a die for each of them, and we take the best result. A 6 is going to be a clean success. A 4 or 5 is going to be a messy result. And a 3 or lower is just going to be a failure. In this case, that would mean, well, you get hit by lightning because that's what you narrated
Awesome.
for yourself. Yeah. So you can roll brawn or agility. Agility would make more sense, but I'm gonna allow brawn. Like you can roll somewhere and take a slab of stone that's around and just shield yourself. But we'll see if you actually manage that. So roll
Yeah.
brawn.
Okay, so I'm a noob when it comes to this system. How do I make a roll in Foundry?
You just open up your character sheet. In the
Got it.
sidebar, there's actors, and then you just click on brawn. There's a text field which just says brawn with a die next to it, and then yeah, there you go, and that's a 5. So
Yes. Yes.
mhm.
Cool.
You have a messy success here. How do you evade the lightning then?
Oh, I definitely go to roll, trip, slide under, and just like drag a rock in front of me. But it looks terrible because
Yeah.
I'm very caught off guard with this lightning.
It doesn't just look terrible. It is also, well, it isn't terrible. You do it. You evade the lightning. You are not struck by it. Unfortunately, you are the first one to notice this danger. And that also means you don't see that out of another cloud, something else begins to essentially fall. It looks a bit like raindrops, or it would look like that if any of you would see it, but Dax, the most alert one earlier, just didn't. Got nearly struck by lightning, narrowly evaded it, but because they tripped, couldn't see it. Out of this greenish, sickly green cloud falls heavy rain that gathers in a pool directly behind Dax. But this pool, unfortunately for you, is of the slightly animated variety, and a slime creature begins to form there. And you notice it rising out of this puddle that it springs out of, rising directly behind Dax. If you don't find a way to get Dax out of there and then run away, because this magical maelstrom is a bit of a problem, you will be down a party member immediately.
Great.
But yeah, you have the ability to do something about this. So there's a slime creature. This is going to be a pool, a very literal pool, which I just noticed. Pools in Grimwild take the role of clocks in Blades of the Dark. Clocks are pretty much like they advance or you fill them. Pools are a bit more randomized. Pools are a dice pool that when you trigger it gets rolled, and depending on the results, you drop dice from it. So one of you can now do something about the slime creature. If you succeed on your roll, I will roll 4 dice. And depending on the outcome, I will drop a few of these. And when the pool is depleted, when the last when the last die is gone, the slime creature is also gone.
All right.
It can't be Dax. It can be anybody else who wants to go.
Gotcha.
So let me die an undead death the first 5 minutes of this campaign.
I made this easy.
15 minutes in, it's fine.
That's a brawny type. All right, assist.
I know.
How does one slice the throat of this ooze? I'm very unfamiliar with this killing, but I shall stab. I must. And I guess can I use agility to attempt to, some sort of rip some sort of amoeba out of this thing, some sort of pulling force, an attempt at least.
Sure, yeah. You can, if you have any kind of special moves that you can make, you can use that. But, or you can also just roll with a stat that makes sense to use here.
Opening strikes for expertise. It gives me 1 extra die.
All right.
And he says you can roll it as a bonus dice after any roll within your expertise.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I get to roll, and if I do not do well, I can roll 1 more.
You do okay.
Still messy.
Yeah.
You know what? Just for the sake of trying things out, we shall
All right.
click it once and see if it works. That's not how that works. That's how do I? I'm sorry. I'm very confused about that.
Yeah, no, we're learning this. It's fine.
That's crazy. I can still roll them around after the fact, anyways. 3D.
Okay. So you can roll 3D. Okay, no, you can roll it, and it will just deplete if you roll badly.
Ah, that's why the 4 only went down to a 1. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I was kind of confused. Okay,
Yeah.
cool,
So
cool.
you rolled a 4, a 1, and a 2. The 1 and the 2 are so bad that essentially you lose them
Out of
from
the
the
pool.
pool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the 4 is your bonus, but well, you had a messy success and you still have it, I think, is the way that would work.
How I imagine this kind of messy failure or success and failure
It's a
at the
messy
same time,
success.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm able to kind of whatever essence undulates and creates this motion, I'm able to kind of split it from its body, but in doing so, bleeds into my shadow, making it a little bit more opaque, and my hand is just kind of fading a bit. And I just kind of toss the dagger onto the floor, like, and just try to wring it off as best as I can. I trying to remember what human body feelings do. It naturally do it. I'm like, oh, well, I just kind of faded it through. What the hell?
Right. Okay. So maybe the slime creature that I made up a couple of minutes ago has the ability to seep into you. We'll see. First, I need to roll the pool now and see how affected the slime creature is by what you do. And I will do that right now. Well, okay. The 6s do nothing. The 1 does. So you
Okay.
heard it. One of its dice disappears. But it is going to, well, attack, seep into you, do something of the variety, and you might get, perhaps poisoned is the word. You would essentially get a mark against your brawn, which is already not the best. I mean, it's all right.
It is what it is.
Yeah, but I think since you said it physically seeps into you, you would also need to resist with brawn here.
All right. Do I still take 1 away from brawn and then try to
Not
resist?
yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
So just roll 2 brawn.
Yeah. You okay? Well, you shake it off. How?
I guess it just starts to my shadowy hand just kind of reconstitutes. Like, okay,
All right.
whew, scary.
So you are a shadow
Mhm.
as far as undead go. How physical are you essentially? Like how much of you
It's
exist?
just so slightly. It's this middle
Right.
ground of death and like the erasure of existence and the stain we have left behind within our own shadows. So so there is a possibility once I'm gone kind of thing beyond death. So I have no physical body. I just have what I believe and this presence, this force.
And at this moment, you unexist to just the right amount to not get poisoned in any way, and it just plops to the ground out of you. And somebody else can do something about the slime now that is agitated and will attempt to swallow whatever is in front of it next. But first, you can do something about that. And maybe you will actually deplete the pool before that happens.
I think Aaron, seeing how quickly it moved, wants to slow it down. So is going to try and create a bunch of cold inside the slime, making it so that it can't move fast and just hardens into an ice block of liquid slime. And I want to cast a spell about it.
Right. That should work pretty well. So I would say, yeah, you're casting a spell, first and foremost. It is going to have, it's going to be a normal spell, I believe, is what you're saying. So essentially, you're using your cold magic
To create and cold are the two paths.
Yeah. Um, and it will be a regular spell. That's what you're using. So just essentially an action roll with
Yeah,
your
I
presence.
think presence. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. There's a possibility that you increase the wild magic that's happening already, but we'll get to.
Hey, only on a if I roll several ones, and with my
Yeah.
history with Foundry, why would that ever happen?
No,
Let's
no.
hit roll. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
It didn't.
It
Hooray!
didn't. All right.
Yeah,
So,
I did not consider that fact when I picked this character. I'm like, huh? We'll see.
yeah, no one's. I'm a little disappointed, but uh, you see this slime that has just been stabbed and as a result seeped into one of your fellow undead just continue building itself up almost to a pillar rising above Dax and Sift. And how do you slow it down now or freeze it possibly?
I think Aaron is thinking of it as rain as it fell from the sky and be like, if it was liquid enough to fall, it's liquid enough to freeze. And just trying to force enough, like, of that spine chill you get when a ghost passes you by or when a room is being haunted, and trying to force that same cold onto this creature to, if not freeze it, at least make it be scared in its moment for a while.
Right.
But is still staying far away. He does not want to be close.
Yeah. We have one die left in the slime creature. So it is very effective. It is, you're freezing not just it, but also kind of the pool that it has formed out of. And that has stopped it from growing. It is now essentially just a slime that is the size of, I don't want to say a small child because it's just a blob essentially, but it is a very small blob now that tries to somewhat ineffectually swipe at. I would say it's now probably still Sift because I don't think Aaron moved closer.
Yeah, no worries.
Not at
Okay,
all.
I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here to discombobulate, just disappear.
Sift can make a resistance move with anything really, because this slime is so well reduced to harmlessness that you can choose what you want to do. Yeah.
Messy, messy.
That just means, I mean, that means you make it.
Okay.
Resistance move that is messy, you avoid the trouble. But it attaches itself to you anyway, I think.
Yeah, okay. That's messy. That's messy.
It's, yeah, so it will. You are a shadow. That means some things don't really work with you, but there is this kind of strand of you that is still tethered here. You do interact with items and so on. So,
yeah.
whatever happens next, you will have a thorn when you resist. A thorn is essentially an extra die that gets added to a roll and can cut your result down a tier. So it will get harder. But I think first we have you or Clint to also possibly do something.
Muted.
Yep, muted.
Thank you. I imagine that you saw Aaron freeze it and it kind of react to that thing, and you having no recollection of what Jello is, but knows at least kind of that if this is liquid off of Aaron's experience, puddles splash. So I would like to use my wild shape to turn into a rhino and seeing if I can like
Right,
stomp
yeah.
on it.
Okay, yeah. How exactly does Wild Shape work here? Because that's one of the more complicated moves that we have, I think, or talents that we have, I think.
Yeah. It says you can shift into the form of any beast you're familiar with. You have a 4D wild shape resource pool. Rolled when you shift at 0D, you failed to turn into that form. The pool replenishes after each scene. I take on the form's physical qualities and feral instincts. I move my stat points around to represent this with a minimum of 1 and a max of 3 in a stat. You lose access to any talents related to your own physical form. Some forms are more difficult to shift into. For each wild talent max 2, a form has drop 1d from the pool before rolling it. These are things like aquatic, smaller than a cat, bigger than a bear, venomous, and flight. It can be a specific talent from a path or anything that would require a heritage talent. The GM judges the gray zone.
Okay, I will not do all of that because this is complex enough. I will say
Yeah.
that you transform into a rhino unless you absolutely fail to roll it. You do have to roll the pool. I don't
Does it look
expect that.
different,
Okay.
or is it
Ooh.
exactly
See.
a rhino?
See, I
It's
was, yeah. How does your rhino look?
yeah, as being a skeleton myself, um I don't really have flesh to change into, but I do change my skeletal structure to be that of a rhino. So the you having flowers kind of in their eye socket and like part of their bone structure, those just kind of get rearranged on their body as this skeletal being turns into a rhino and then walks over and attempts
Hmm.
to smash it.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, you have no special talents in this because we just rolled the pool, but you will have probably 3 brawn after this because you can rearrange your stat points.
Yeah, I was gonna swap my wits and brawn because I don't
Fine.
need wits as a rhino.
Yeah.
Cool. So then roll brawn.
Yeah, I think what you described makes sense for that.
Cool.
And you can, well, we'll get to that.
Ooh,
Oof.
oof, oof,
Oof.
Um,
oof.
Oh no.
okay.
Wow, I'm going to learn
um,
so much about this game so fast.
Oof.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, you fail. That's
You fails.
you
Yes.
Yeah,
fail.
you fails. You fails real bad.
You fail. Hmm. Interesting. So, what happens when you failed is there is trouble, and the trouble is not just uh, it's not just the slime creature. You're still in a magical storm. There are discharges of lightning all around you.
Oh no.
Um, there are also these strange purple clouds I mentioned before, and they begin to descend to the ground now, and out of them fall strange little imp-like creatures that seem to be like animated lightning, and they seem to be attracted by your display of druidic magic, and in a crackling burst just dart directly at you. And what this is it has triggered an impact move from me, and this is just going to be an extra problem for you.
Cool.
So I will say if you don't deal with this rhino, you are the rhino, with the slime creature immediately, there's going to be a timer of essentially the lightning imps hitting you as they come down from the clouds. I'm going to set this as, well, Will it let me do that? 3 dice. Once that is gone, the imps are going to be there. And I'm just going to roll this whenever one of you does something.
What a wildly threatening thing to say.
This will not go away. Okay, cool. Thanks.
No, it's fine. Dax has just seen all of this happen. Suddenly, there's a rhino stomping around next to you. What now, Dax?
The slime creature's still there, right?
Yeah, it is currently
All right.
attempting to dissolve Sift.
I'm gonna just, and it's pretty small. You said.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm pretty big, so I'm just gonna run up and try and like stomp it out until it's flat.
All right. Gotcha. Okay. That definitely sounds like a brawn roll.
So you just roll brawn.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh no!
Well, that's a
Oh
perfect.
yes!
No consequences.
Oh no.
Um, so I will say there is your possibility here to push yourself. And pushing yourself is a rule that I can't currently find in the rule book.
I mean, it doesn't exist. Yeah.
That,
No, I'm just
yeah.
kidding.
Oh, it sounds like it's on our side. We want it.
Pushing yourself. Yeah, it means you just take a mark. So there is the pool is 1 die. I now roll it. If it doesn't drop, which is a 50% chance, you can push yourself.
Oh no!
Okay, it doesn't drop. You can push yourself. Pushing yourself is going to leave a mark. A mark is just lesser damage. It's a temporary hindrance, essentially. So
Okay.
you take a thorn on the next roll with the stat. And I'm going to say the mark here is going to be agility, as you have essentially covered in slime.
Yeah, okay, I'll take it. I'll
All
push
right.
myself.
So I will mark your agility and describe how you eradicate the slime.
I think that I just watched the rhino appear. I see this thing trying to like engulf Sift, and it's like been iced. So I don't have a lot, and my body's kind of falling apart. So I'm just gonna run over and like take my big foot and just stomp it out like it's a fire until it's gone, like, and until
Yeah.
it like splatters into nothing.
Yeah, and apart from the residue that is just now hindering your agility because you're covered in the remains of the slime, it is now gone. The lightning imp and the regular lightning, they're still there.
No.
All right, we have 1 die left for the imps. It's time for you to make an escape, possibly. Who of you is the most versed in spotting an escape here? I'm going to say it's probably not Aaron. It might be you or it might be Sift.
I have Lay of the Land as one of my wisest from
Right.
my background drifter. Can I drop out of rhino form though before I do that?
I think you can, yeah.
Okay. Just to swap my brawn and wits back. He was gonna drop and make like a weird face and be like, why didn't my feet work for that? And I'm
Valid
gonna try
question.
to I'm gonna try to spot us a route out of here.
All right. I'm going to say assisting this role is possible. Assisting means Is it different than in Blades? No. So you can help. So one of the others can help you. Then roll an additional die and share the risk. Essentially, sharing the risk means well, you both get afflicted by the same outcome, which would be lightning imps potentially. Yeah.
Aaron is about 15 feet back, just being like, "Excellent show of force. Do good. Yes. Nice job."
So whoever wants to assist can roll an extra die after you has rolled, and that just gets added to the roll. Essentially, yeah,
So, would you like me to roll first then?
yeah.
Okay. Wits, I assume then.
Sounded like it, yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, you find your way out. There is a complication. I'm going to say, well, first, how do you escape? All of you, but Clint gets to narrate this.
I mean, we're kind of in a desert wasteland, so there's not much we can do. But I imagine
There
that
are jagged rocks and some just petrified trees and so on everywhere, but yeah, there is
yeah,
cover. If you need it narratively, there is cover. There's just not a lot of it.
fair, fair. I imagine that there's some form of like a cactus grove that I'm aware of, having been from kind of this area or having been animated in this area. So I'll look at the team and be like, "Hey, there's a cactus grove that'll provide some cover just over this way if we want to get out of here."
Let's run.
Cool. Let's go.
And run you do. I'm going to get rid of all of these pools. Imps are still there. The imps are hissing after you, disappointed that you are out of their reach, as they seem to be tethered to this maelstrom. But I will say, if you come back here, this is going to be my complication for your messy success. They are still here. They will wait for you. They are, for some reason, still magically attracted to you. And
Love imps with grudges.
The imps are now a
Me?
permanent fixture in this area that you might need to pass again on your way back to the Spire of Bones at the end of this campaign. So the imps
I can't
might
wait
make
for
a
that.
dramatic re-entry at some later point.
I can't wait to
Little
go
butterfly
home.
appears in the corner.
Yeah.
The imps will remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just see everybody running away, and the imps are just flying down and just realizing they can't catch them and hissing at each other as lightning imps would do. As you abscond into the distance. And we are out of this scene. It is now time for you to figure out where to go next. But first, we've dropped you right into the action. Maybe we go back a week. Maybe we figure out how you got here in the first place. So, a little over a week ago, there was a little social event. The most sociable of all of you, of course, being Aaron. Like, what did you do?
Yeah, so knowing that we needed to organize a party, made sure that only the best locations were there. So Aaron, having the idea that he's still the socialite he once was and had an air he hopes to gain back, went to as many locations and bars and vendors as he possibly could, just to gather the supplies. You know, it's always good to have connections, but it's also good to have sources, and especially when it comes to trading. And trying to float a little above his station did not necessarily give off the best connection with the current nobles of the city, who he may or may not one day hope to bring down and reign above more than they will ever have. But that's for future Aaron. Current Aaron is being humbled miserably, as his status is a lowly little ghost in noble ghost society, and made a few promises above his stature he was not able to deliver on for this party that
Yeah.
we are all organizing.
So who was this party for?
This party was for Kenny, our friendly vampire spawn, as I believe it was their bachelor party.
Yeah. Right. So,
What a guy.
what a
What a
guy.
guy.
We are zooming in the wasteland. There's the Spire of Bones. It's an imposing tower. It's piercing the flickering sky of the wild waste. The Spire of Bones has been built along the spine of a dead god, the skull of that god still sitting atop the construction. The Spire of Bones is also partially made out of bones. Might be a bit weird for the undead living there. Some of these might be, coming alive at any point. Anyway, inside, all manner of undead gather as the magical apocalypse that befell the world kind of leaves a lot of the people that die not quite dead for long. And inside the spire, among the lower floors, where the more disposable, let's say, of the living dead are housed, there is this location that Aaron picked out for the party. What gave it away to who would be observant? I'm going to say Sift would probably be the most observant of all of you. What gave it away that Aaron kind of overplayed his hand here a little bit?
Oh, well, if I'm not mistaken, Aaron still has a physical form, right? I just felt it within the pulsations of their shadow when I kind of walked by. This nervousness that I felt before death, someone who may not be up to the snuff, but is willing to do what they need to do to get things done. That's essentially how I figured that out.
Right. Aaron is scared of social death.
Potentially, it's a faux pas.
100%.
Please, no.
I do
Right.
think that is literally his trait. Oh no, does not want thrills and does not like
Yeah.
rash. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like a simple ghost life, please.
And now you must throw a party, and you will be judged for it.
Truly hell.
Well, the party was, like we said, a moderate success that you threw for Kenny. A few things went wrong. You and Dax, what exactly were the kind of issues that you caused perhaps for yourselves while you threw this party for Kenny?
Dax offered to be security and bodyguard for this party, but there was really no need for security or a bodyguard for this party, so Dax just kind of stood in the corner, arms crossed, looking very official for absolutely no reason. And
Yeah.
missed
Just
out on most of the party. Trying
brought
to,
the mood down a
trying to
little
guard
bit.
it. Yeah.
And Clint, what about you?
Oh, I imagine that you knew very little about vampire spawn, but knew vampire like blood, but living in a post-apocalyptic world where there's a lot of undead, blood doesn't super exist. So you, using the best of their knowledge in herbalism, brought some plant-based blood for everyone to consume. It's just carbon, right?
Yeah. Mm.
What the hell?
And yeah, Kenny, now we see Kenny approaching in this not quite as not quite as grand venue as a ghost noble among us might have hoped, um, approach you, the character. This name is gonna. We have
Yeah,
interesting
that's
names
gonna
here.
happen a lot.
One
I
of them
know.
is like,
Yeah.
yeah, one of them is you, and one of them is like, I always need to look at it like, how is it spelled again? Anyway, Kenny, who has a much simpler name, um, approaches you. Uh, hey, thanks for putting on this party, but where did you get this booze from? It's like, I don't know, it smells a little like dirt, and it doesn't really hit the spot, you know. I've sucked rats that were better, if I'm honest.
Oh, well, I wasn't quite sure where to get a large supply of bud for a group of individuals, so I fermented my own. So the dirt is all natural. That's why yeah.
Oh wait, I thought you fermented blood, like the blood, like from a person or something. But
I mean, I wasn't quite sure where to find a person. We kind of live in the Spire of Bones.
well, yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, it's well, I mean, it's. I guess you can drink it. Like usually, I mean, there the sometimes a nomad caravan, like traders or so, come by. Like I mean, but hey, I mean, I'm super happy that you did this for me. I mean, there are not that many vampires that came here anyway. I don't think they always respect me like that, to be honest. But hey, anyway, it's not like my boss needs to drink this.
Yeah.
Uh, that would be bad, honestly. She might stake me for that. But anyway, hey, speaking of my boss, like I said, this. I mean, people are here and are mostly having fun, as long as they're not like within 10 feet of Dax. So, uh, yeah, I wanted to say, like, my boss is looking for somebody that, or well, some people that, uh, I don't know how I mean, she said that are desperate. I'm just gonna say it how it is. And I don't know how desperate you are, but if you need a job, I could introduce you.
I mean, yeah. I don't know if I've ever had a job, so it could be fun. A job sounds fun.
Mm, right, never had a job. Well, the others, I think, yeah. Well, I think it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Hey, thank you. I'm gonna introduce you. If all else fails, we're just gonna send the next batch. That's all right. Anyway, yeah. I'll be in touch. I'll be in touch.
Sounds good. I'll try to find some real blood maybe while I'm out on this job for you.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah. Yeah, I think you should. Oh, yeah. There's gonna be a lot of just big beefy guys that you can get the blood out of there. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So I'm
get
looking
into
for
that.
big beefy guys for blood. Big beefy blood guys. Okay, cool.
And as it so happened, you were in fact invited to the upper floors.
Hmm.
The very next day. Um, you ascended there at the behest of Dolores, a vampire countess. As you ascended the tower, let's give that to Aaron. And Aaron, this is going to be a setup move. You will actually take Spark for this in character because you get to set up something. Spark is essentially a resource that you can spend to get an extra die. As you ascend the Spire of Bones, what here, as you get higher and higher to the richer and richer people undead living here, what reminds you of your old life as a noble that is lost and temporarily out of reach to you? What here reminds you of what you're missing, perhaps?
I think the largest percentage of it is the amount of space people up here have. Like, the rib cage especially is so much real estate that's owned by so few people that there's just like open bazaars made out of hammock netting, and there's like condos that are like half of a city block themselves. And right now we're sharing half of a room with four other people, and that's not fair. I should have half a city block. And I think as he goes up, his eye is just catching on every person that has space, or every person that seems to be like walking their like little undead dog or cat out on the way, trying to like catch the eye of some of the merchants vending in these bazaars to be like, if I can get a single in, I can get here. I just need to figure out which of them is dumb enough to fall for it. And looking around, trying to rebuild this, but knowing with how established everyone in the town is, it won't be a simple one conversation like he's used to having.
Yeah. And it's possibly even worse than that. Not only are there all these established people, but there are also people who are not noble. The nouveau riche are there. And they
So
have more
Roche-
than you. Yeah. And they've moved ahead of you. How did
Aaron
that happen?
faints. He faints.
Aaron died like a Victorian child.
Yeah. Sees one thing mildly uncomfortable, dies. And then wakes up like, oh god, it wasn't a dream. They're still here.
But yeah, you are following Kenny's invitation. Kenny is wisely keeping out of eyesight and getting to nearly the top of the spire. The skull, of course, is forbidden to most, but you are almost up there. You can see it. You can possibly even through the vaulted ceilings, if you squint up, maybe look through a window, you can possibly even see a tooth up there. And you are invited into the massive, it's not quite a mansion, but it is almost a floor to herself, of Dolores the Countess. Dolores greets you. She is a big woman with big hair and positively bedazzled in jewelry made of gold and bone, the two major currencies of the spire. You can also now see her in Foundry.
Ooh, good for her.
Dolores approaches you, more or less floating towards you. She's wearing an exceedingly impractical dress that all but screams, I don't have to work because you'll do it for me. She doesn't so much stand before you as loom, and you will, in fact, work for her. She looks at you. Ah, you must be the help that Kenny promised.
He said he was looking for desperate people.
Oh, well, desperate, willing to take a little gamble, willing to take a risk, however you want to describe it.
Yeah. I'm good with that. I got nothing to lose. Like, hang out one of my zombie arms and like put it back together. Okay, I have things to lose, but physically, not emotionally.
Well, that is wonderfully depressing. You sound perfect for the job then. And the rest of you?
This is my first job. Excited to get to work.
Ah. Well, I suppose you will do anyway. The others can drag you with them, and if nothing else, you will. Oh, well. be in the way of some greater danger.
They need a chaperone, of course.
And who would that be?
Me.
I see, I see. You look mildly familiar, perhaps from the before times. Who do I have the pleasure with?
Lord Aaron.
Lord Aaron. Oh, I have not
Soon
seen
to be
you.
again.
Ah, I was about to say, I have not seen you above the lower ribs, I don't believe.
Now, some mismanagement of my will wasn't sent to me here, and so now I need to manage my way back up.
Well,
You know, greedy grandchildren taking all the money.
oh, would I know your grandchildren then? Are they up here somewhere?
No, I don't think they're dead yet.
Oh, well, good for them, honestly. As much as this spire allows us a semblance of our former grandeur, it is a bit depressing even when you make it back up here, I must tell you. There are no vast fiefdoms to rule, just the lower floors. Ah, I remember when you could just survey your lands and look at the little hamlets with their peasants in it and just look, yes, they all belong to me. I miss it so. It must be so much worse for you, who has nothing.
You just see Aaron 1,000 yards staring, remembering like the hills of England. Yeah, it's quite bad, but don't worry. If this is what Kenny says, it should be no issue to restore the wealth needed to assure myself up here.
Right then. Chaperone, you say. It's a start, I suppose. Well, I do have a task of you that for you that requires a bit of discretion and, let us say, trustworthiness of you. It seems like you have an interest in proving yourself in one way or another, so that will be good enough for me. But also know that should you not return that which I seek, there are vampires who will be coming for you, and you have not too many places to run in the wild wastes. But I assume I can trust you, and here then is what is to be expected of you. Across the wastes, there's the mountain pass, an old fortress. You might have seen it, you might not have. Now it is infested by Ettins, unclean two-headed giants, mostly squabbling amongst themselves. They do have a certain brutish strength, and they are ruled by one of them that, well, is more powerful, I presume, has a third head, no doubt by some strange magical accident. And this Ettin, the three-headed Ettin, hoards a few treasures I would like, chief among them the Crown of Fools. The details of it don't truly concern you. I don't believe you will find many crowns there. But I wish for you to go there, retrieve the crown, bring it to me, and in return, well, you would climb up a few floors here, I can assure you of that. How many? That depends on whether or not you impress me. I assume the terms are acceptable.
Aaron would look to the other two, well, other three, but
Kenny also mentioned big beefy blood boys. Is that where we'll find them?
Well, Etin is big and beefy and even has 2 necks.
Wonderful. Cool. I'll try to bring one back for you then.
Please refrain from doing that. Just
Oh.
the blood, please. But if you do that, well, that might be worth a little bonus.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Yeah, I'm good to go. Ready
Then
to
go
do
you
this
shall.
place.
And with that, you are dismissed again. And we cut back to the Wild Wastes. You have escaped the Maelstrom. You now have a decision to make. Where do you want to go next on your way to the mountains? The path straight ahead, well, there is a tar filled crater in the way. You will not go through there. You can go to the Beastlands, one of the areas here that has a bit of what is more or less inhabitable. There are a few almost forests there. There are even some water sources. It is the only remotely fertile area of the Wild Wastes, and it is where most of the animals gather. Unfortunately, this includes a few that have been changed by the wild magic, and it includes some that have, strangely enough, come back from the dead as well. If you're unlucky, you will find the odd skeletal dinosaur there.
I've
There's
never seen
also
one.
okay, well, there's also the option of going instead of to the Beastlands to the west, just heading north to the ruins of Turangar. This is a place of, well, it once was a minor realm. Now it is just in ruin. And occasionally there are outcasts there, outcast undead, outcasts from other places hiding in the ruins. It has its own dangers, but perhaps they are less unpredictable and easier to solve with words than what you would encounter in the Beastlands. So, that is where we will go. One of these is going to be your next destination, and we're going to see where you actually end up going after the break. All right. Welcome back, everybody. It is time to decide where our intrepid group of the living dead goes next. We have the Beastlands and the ruins of Turangar as an option, where, depending, a lot of mundane and magical animals will await, or some people that have been cast out of the Spire of Bones or other places. So, where would everybody want to go? And what arguments would they make in character?
Well, I know the Beastlands pretty well, and I mean, if I can see a dinosaur, I might be able to turn into a dinosaur, which would be really cool.
Yeah,
But-
but the rhino thing, how did that go?
It was a really weird accident. There was like this undead zoo that I ran into, and so I know some animals, but I've not seen a dinosaur before.
Yeah, okay. Like if you found a brochure of the exotic wildlife, that could just work for you. Just a picture, a 2D. I mean, I'm technically very limited of dimensions. It's like my hand just kind of phases into a different
Fair.
space for a second.
I feel like that would be up to the GM on whether a photo of an animal would work.
There are no photos.
Fair.
Damn.
But I do like the idea of an undead zoo that I just placed into
Yeah.
this world.
I suppose which one is closer to your cactus encampment? Because if one is closer, we might as well save time than the other.
Could I use lay of the land to possibly figure out, have an idea of where we are in terms of this map, or are we dead center and that's why we have a decision?
The decision is purely what do you and your characters want to see. You don't have to roll for anything. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty split down the middle, honestly. I think that if you guys wanted to go to the ruins, there might be some people that I know that I've met out here. It might be a little bit easier to interact with people than it would be animals, which I understand. But sometimes it's the simplicity of animals just saying, I like you or I don't is kind of nice.
All right. Yeah, I understand that 100%. Anybody else? Anybody?
I mean, if seeing the animals will make you more effective, sounds like a good plan.
I'm just along for a ride. I have no desire to see either place, so I will follow whatever the group wants to do.
There are definitely ne'er-do-wells in each, so I do understand that the complacency of there's potential bad for every place. So
Suppose as the group bodyguard, would you rather fight animals or fight humans? Well,
Animals. I would
humans.
rather fight animals.
that is
Then it
Yes.
sounds like we should go to the Beastlands then.
away we go.
To the Beastlands.
Right. You make your way to the Beastlands there, or rather to the edge of the Beastlands. It has almost been a day that you have been traveling. And yeah, you make it to the border of these new lands.
Ooh.
What do we
You see,
These are very particularly shaped.
yeah, you see,
Like a
Mm,
conch, like a shell.
yeah, you see,
two mounds.
Two conches, two shells.
you see rolling, well, hills or dunes, depending on how you want to describe them. Mostly barren, but there are a few, um, spots of vegetation. Sparse, but it's there. And every now and then you see signs of wildlife past and present. Like, for example, giant helix shells that seem to have been lost, or, well, not lost, left by dying enormous snails. Um, the biggest one in the party, let's say, Dex. What other signs of enormous wildlife do you see around here?
Uh, I think there's probably some undead, large, like, let's go with buffalo or bison, like, lumbering around.
Mhm. Are they mostly just following protocol for living bisons, or do they
Yes.
behave in any? Okay.
No, they're big and noticeable, but as long as we stay out of their way, I think they'll stay out of our way.
All right, yeah. So you see slightly decomposing bisons, but they're peaceful for now. You make yourself, you make your way into the beastlands for now, as you are just entering them, and there's still a bit of daylight, undisturbed, and there does come a time though when, well, you are undead. You don't need sleep per se, but it does become a bit harder to navigate as it gets colder and darker. Dex still has a bit of flesh on them, so it might actually be impossible to continue if it's too cold. So there is a time for you to make camp.
I feel
And
like at one point my leg came off and I had to pick it up and reattach it because it's just getting cold.
yeah, yeah.
You hear Yu's bones rattling.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you
Cool.
also is covered in vegetation that also probably dies if it's too cold. So, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a time where even the undead, although they don't need sleep, need to settle for the night. And that is coming. You find a nice spot in the shadow of one of these enormous shells, and you make camp. Like I said, you don't need mortal comforts in that sense. But still, maybe there are just vestiges of your lives that you have lost, that there are some things that you still observe, some rituals. So, starting with Aaron, perhaps, just because Sean is the first in the video for me. What do we see Aaron do at camp that is perhaps a ritual or just some kind of manifestation of the life he once had as he prepares for camp?
I think in his pack he has a really once well-maintained tea set that has been chipped and broken, but can still hold enough liquid that it's like, yes, it is proper. We sit down, we will have our tea, then we will go to bed, and it's lukewarm water at best, but it is the semblance of this cup is in my hand, I am drinking something, it is fine, things are normal, and soon enough we will not sleep on the ground in the lower layers.
Hmm.
And you, or whoever wants to go next.
I want to know where this tea set came from.
Ah.
How
Backpacks
does
we all have.
yeah. I guess I forgot mine on the way here. My apologies.
It's perfect. Or there's like a tiny butler that just follows Aaron around with a tea set. Who knows?
You see you takes a kind of like crawls into these are you said these are shells, right?
Yeah.
Kind of crawls into like an area a little bit kind of up out of the way of one of the shells, and you see their front arms, like the bones keep shifting into something similar to a hoof, almost like they're trying to memorize what it would take to shift into a bison.
Dope.
Nice. Yeah. Sift.
Sift is in this time of somewhat calm. Goes over the book of names of people he wants dead. They just it is their meditation, their relaxation.
And Dax.
Oh, Dax works out. Like
Okay.
push-ups, sit-ups. They're like, I think that's what they did. That's what she did in her life, and so now like it's just routine that when you get up, you're gonna do push-ups. When you go before you go to bed, you're gonna do push-ups. Like she's just
Right.
working out in the corner.
Right. So you all do your separate things for a while. Eventually, those activities will end, though. You have just survived the first danger of this road that you're on, and more will be ahead tomorrow. On that note, I've started a pool that I'm just going to roll as a timer, which I have just called Beasts! Exclamation mark. But we'll get to that in a bit. For now, you have made camp. Everything is peaceful for now. You possibly hear some undead bisons in the distance making like the bovine equivalent of a zombie moan. But
I think I need to hear what that sounds like.
okay, then do it.
You know what? Fair. Let's continue.
It's like
Hey, you.
and brains and brains.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I should take offense of the brains. It's like, hey,
Or is it effect of zombiness that you learn the English word brains? Like,
Yeah.
Whatever language we are learning here, we speak in these underworld world. It might be this is where the Tower of Babel has fallen. I don't know.
yeah.
Hold
Me?
on. Are we merging two canons right now?
Wow.
The Bible and
I mean, the Spire of Bones is built into the remains of a god. The kind of, the allegory is there. It's kind of, it's not even fully subtext. It's a bit text is in there.
it's pretty 1-to-1.
Yeah. But yeah, you have made camp and all kind of done your separate things. But as you, as you have survived something, magical maelstrom today together, at some point, I would assume you feel a certain desire to talk to each other, perhaps. So who would break the silence?
Was it Dax or Sif that had taken or gotten attacked by the...
Both got attacked.
Okay.
Dax is still a bit covered in slime.
slimy. I'm
Okay.
slimy.
I think we both have thorns at this current
Yeah,
moment.
we both have thorns.
Okay. Well, Dax is covered in slime, so let's get that off of them. I would at some point walk over to Dax and I like kind of like pulling at the like weird plants that are just like stuck in my like rib cage and be like, so if you would like, I might be able to help you take that off. I've kind of been collecting these plants, and I think I found that some of them might help with like removing like sticky substance from a being.
Uh, yeah, that would be great. I think it's holding me together pretty well, but it should probably come off.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we can find other things to hold you together later if you want.
Okay, that sounds good.
Cool, cool. And I'm gonna take some aloe and see if I can start working off the gel a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I could rule that you do it, but that's not fully covered by the rules, I think.
That's
And
fair.
also, you have a special ability that we might use here.
Yeah. I mean, I have for wises, I have herbal properties or signs of ailment. Um,
Mm,
I don't think either of the herbalism potions that I have would work. But
yeah, you have Zaproot and Mimic Lace, which are completely randomly rolled. Oh yeah, you
yeah,
are a healer. You could might possibly. I mean, yeah, signs of ailment. Well,
herbal properties is probably
other
a better one-to-one.
properties. I would say you can look for something. I can't always let you just say, "Oh yeah, it just grows on me," and then just use it. But you
Fair,
could
fair.
potentially find something to clear the mark here.
Yeah. If I'm
You
totally
can,
down to roll. I just
yeah,
picked
you can
aloe
roll.
because it.
There's there's no consequence for failure except it doesn't happen.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's just a roll. I would assume wits, but maybe you also want to use agility or brawn to just get in something.
Yeah, the skeleton with one brawn would like to use
Yeah,
that to
yeah.
just rip it off of there.
Mm, mm.
Oh man. Here's to hoping.
All
Okay,
right.
messy.
All right.
Yet, yeah, you make it. Again, there's no consequence for failure. So what do you find, and how does that? It can be a very like wild magic imbued plant. So what do you find, and how does that treat Dax?
Yeah, I think because it's a messy success, Dax mentioned that it was kind of holding them together a little bit. Um, so I imagine that the I kind of just grabbed one off of my body that had like some sort of like oil-ish coming out of the leaves, which helps get the gel off, but it might not necessarily keep Dax together as well anymore.
Takes a bit of my decomposing flesh with it as it as it comes off.
Yeah,
See,
it
the
comes off
way
with a
you're describing it makes me very like. It's very tempting now to move the mark from agility to brawn, but that would be worse than a failure,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. I like the idea that we just have pieces of Dax now, or maybe I find some like grass that I can like tie together to like hold
Yeah,
the piece on Dax, so they
yeah.
just have like random pieces of grass around like
Like
limb parts.
just like at the weakest parts that are like stretched together.
Exactly.
Right. While this treatment is happening, do you talk about anything?
Um, I feel like you would, because we know each other from the bachelor party, but you were kind of standing in the corner for the majority of it, and I was just having fun. And so I feel like the icebreaker would be, so how do you know Kenny?
Oh, so I don't really know Kenny. I heard that there was a party going on, and I thought I would volunteer my services. I'm trying to do good in this, afterlife type thing. I wasn't the best person back when I was alive. I'm trying to make up for that, but I think I may have done more harm than good at that particular party. But it looked fun. Everybody there looked like they had a good time.
I mean,
I thought.
I don't think your presence was a harm to anyone.
I don't think I did anything helpful, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but you don't need to be helpful to be welcome.
I never thought about it that way.
Hmm.
Usually, people want things to get things in return. At least that's my experience.
What was it like being human?
People want things. And you either do them or you don't, and there's consequences for that.
And I think consequences for that. Somebody might have heard that and had a bit of a reaction to that. Perhaps Sift.
How close is Sift? How close is Sift?
Close enough to
some
hear.
words.
Close enough to hear it. Yeah.
Let me tell you.
You are the narratively appropriate distance. You have heard.
I like that. That's a good distance. I will keep that in mind next time.
I love that terminology. Yeah.
What? We're dead. Why do we need to be good? It's all a subject of morality put upon us by social aspects of what we should and shouldn't do. Why not live for yourself or live this death? This is all confusing, to be honest.
I think I just thought when I died, I would be dead. And now I'm doing this thing, which is, I would like peace, I think.
Peace for yourself. I mean, it's coming. It'll come for us all. This thing. But this, everything does need to be a formality. This feeling of you do this, scratch your back, I scratch mine, whatever, yada yada. It gets you places, also kills you, and then kind of like motions towards the open hole within himself, and goes, so there are no rules to what we should and shouldn't do. We get here, and that's just it. There's no bigger meaning.
Aaron is sitting behind Sift, disagreeing with his face at everything being said. Like, no formalities, not existing within society, living without structure.
Teacups of shit.
Everything. What sort of life are you hoping to live if not one bound to society and growth and structure, where you can see that your inherent value comes from the value of the people around you putting it on you? You are wrong. That's no life or unlife. Society is good. We all should do society forever. And nobody should make money if they weren't born into it. It's cheating.
See?
It's cheating.
It's cheating.
I think Dax is just looking through Sift at Aaron, like just through the hole that has been motioned to. It's just like, okay.
Well, I've only ever known myself in context of others. And that's because I don't remember myself.
Maybe sometimes it's better to not remember the before.
I can't remember the before, though. I feel like I'm missing a part of me. Not having those memories. Because there's these bones have been places that I am unaware of. And I kind of want to know their stories. You know?
Sometimes the stories we find aren't stories we want to hear.
We are the stories. What's left behind? We create these things.
We are the ones that create these things. Your past, maybe we can find it. But what happens if you don't? Will you be okay with that? Should you be okay with that?
I'm not sure. I mean, even if the stories are bad, they're still worth telling.
Well, you only time will tell that. You can't, you can't say that something's going to be worth it, not until you've experienced it.
That's true. So we gotta find the stories to experience it.
I see I've messed up my circular logic.
I feel like Dax is just like trying to keep up with the train of thought, and Zombie Brain is just like, oh no. Like,
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Listen, there is only so much we can do with this on life.
Mhm.
We went to a party. We had a looks at Aaron, an okay time. And now we're here. Okay. Fulfilling another request. Just trying to get by. Trying to make sure everything goes somewhat positive for somebody else.
And what would you do if you're not making sure things go somewhat positively for someone else?
I make sure that something horrible happens to somebody else. And just kind of like shakes the book a little. You know, I wasn't much for tying up loose ends and all that stuff, and now I see the inherent goodness of it now. I'm just waiting for them to pass on and come here and, well, hopefully meet.
And with that, we move away a little bit as this conversation is happening, going in a circle at some point, but we see, well, what do we see? Let me roll the beasts pool. That is a lot of drop dice. We're going from 8 to 4. Once that hits 0, something is going to appear. For now, we move away and we see a lumbering skeletal shape and a groaning noise that sounds like it wants to be a roar, but doesn't quite get there for lack of, vocal cords or lungs. Instead, it's just the movement of bones against each other as some creature opens its maw, having spotted your camp. But that won't concern you for now. It's the next day. And I think how we're going to do this is you're in the Beastlands. I have prepared nothing. Except for I know more or less what's possible to happen here, but you need to make your way through it. So we're going to go start with one of you, and one of you will set the scene of what you see on your journey, and then popcorn it over to somebody else who needs to solve that and help you past whatever obstacle you encounter. And let's see. Before I'm going to go alphabetically by character names here, we're going to start with, that is going to be Sift. What do you encounter on the first leg of your journey through the Beastlands the next day?
I think that in going through the Beastlands, we find something a little less attainable for our druid's shape, which is not being able to see something that is dwelling within the ground, kind of causing the earth to kind of move and shift beneath our feet as we kind of try to cross this unfortunate layer we have stumbled upon.
Yes. And I think So there is some subterranean creature.
Mhm.
I think there are, as an interesting byproduct of evolution after the Great Cataclysm and the Undead Rising, there are a lot of things underground that have sprung to some sort of existence again. And now there are predators looking specifically for them. We can honestly just say they are massive worms, go for the classics. But there are things underground. There are things underground that are hunting for undead, primarily underground. But hey, if something happens to just walk right over them, why not? So you can popcorn it over to somebody who gets you through this, who lets you pass this threat.
Our skeletal friend here might have something more than what I know. I'm just some pompous asshole. So hopefully someone with a little bit more has been experiencing this kind of this wanting to know of the animalistic natures of these new creatures would know, hey, maybe we need to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I have for Drifter. I have Faraway Tales and Lay of the Land. Um, have I heard of these creatures? Have I experienced them before
Oh,
being
yeah.
out here? Okay,
Since you have that, you have. Yeah, because you have that touchstone, you have heard of them.
cool.
You have heard from an urchin that arrived at the Spire of Bones. This zombie urchin had the wildest story of, and then it jumped right out of the ground and it almost ate me. And now both of my parents are in his belly, and you know, you have heard of it. You have heard a description. So what does it look like, and how can you evade it possibly?
Okay. Oh man. So I know it comes up out of the ground and kind of scoops people.
Mm,
Um, I know that if we stick closer to like a rock formation, because we're
right.
not, it's more of a solid ground as opposed to the soft ground of the sand. Um, we might be able to stay out of the way of the creatures.
Right. So I would say you don't even have to roll because you have these two special abilities. Yeah, okay, you just know this. You do make it past, but at some point, um, you hear and feel an impact against one of the rocks you're walking over. And as you look down, you see something. You see a maw essentially below. So, what does this creature look like that you are now successfully evading?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Worm just seems the most easy.
Yep.
Though I like the idea because there's a lot of bugs that burrow too, right? So
Yeah.
I think less worm-like and more like a burrowing bug. So it has a maw, but it comes out. The first two things that we see are kind of the like pincers of the bug.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because that's what it holds on to and then pulls beings in.
Right.
Yeah. So we see those kind of rise up as it was trying to track where we had been.
Mm. But you knew exactly how to evade that. So you just look at it futilely, thrashing its mouth parts around below you. Where do you lead the group to, and what do you see there that the next person will have to solve?
Oh man. Um, I think that we find because we're walking along, um, like alongside of a cliff. I think we eventually start wandering into a canyon. That starts off rather wide and then narrows and kind of has like a narrow section at one point, but um, at one of the narrow sections we run into this huge, almost like blockage in the way that seems to be um, not necessarily discarded bones, but kind of like being leftovers that have kind of like filled the gap. Presumably, since like something has been kind of dumping it down this ravine.
Okay.
Ooh, interesting. I feel like I want you to roll because I don't know.
No, I mean, so who is the person who gets to solve this issue?
Let's see what Aaron does to solve this issue.
So it's like a chasm ravine that has just like remains of creatures that were half eaten or half consumed or something thrown into it, correct?
Yeah, and it's blocking the path for us to get through. I think I'm thinking more of like, have you seen the Narrows when it comes to like, I'm trying to think of the space for it, but it's kind of like a cracks in the ground, but
Mhm.
they run very deep, and it's wide enough for
Okay.
like a human to walk through. So we're trying to like cut through these because the upper part of the space is significantly high up to climb over, and so we're trying to walk through, and there's a bunch of discarded waste in the path.
Okay. Well, I take it the rest of you can't fly, right? That'd be too easy. Of course, yes. Lofty ideals, keeping you on the ground, all that, whatever.
Absolutely
So,
insane.
there is, I imagine, if we're in a crack, a large amount of shadow down here, right? Darkness.
We can say that is the case, yeah. Sure.
I think he would look around and like kind of look at the height differences between them and doesn't want to get his feet dirty by stepping on them. Because we have to wear these boots for the rest of this trip, and he only brought 3 pairs of backup boots.
Wow.
And so uh I would like to try and create a shadow staircase that would go like up and over it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's a roll. You can roll with
Yeah.
presence or with wits. It doesn't matter to me, but yeah, you can roll for that.
I'll go
I
with
love it.
presence, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It didn't roll. Oh, there we go.
No, it
Okay.
rolled. Okay.
Yeah.
You are not letting me roll the beast's pool with your perfect success and just, yeah, no, I have these 2 things.
Yeah, I think just with like the expertise of somebody that has climbed so many spiral staircases in towers that did not need to exist, you just see him start like stepping up and up into the air with perfect posture, and each step is leaving behind like a shadowy step with it. He's like, follow quickly, it won't last forever, let's go. And he just walks up and over it to the other side of this thing, keeping immensely clean.
Yeah, good. And
Yeah.
everybody else can follow. And you look below. It's messy down there. You also see the beginnings of unlife in a few places. And you never know, like, when something or someone comes back from the dead. Like, what state of mind is it going to be in? How savage was it in life? Was it a wild animal? So, yeah, good thing that you're just walking just over it and just look down like, oh, yes. Interesting.
Says, good. We've all seen the expedition. We can continue on and say we went on a hunt. Good for us.
Where does your stairway end, and what obstacle does
Uh,
await you there?
with the picture here, it seems like these beastlands continue to rise upward. Is that correct? Or do they eventually like narrow out on the other side?
They will eventually narrow.
Then I think he wouldn't be trying to get height because he thinks down here we're covered. So he would just kind of like go kind of like a pyramid up and down to get on the other side of it. And just learning from what you had said about soft sands would extend it a couple additional feet beyond where this pile is done, just in case there's like a trap sand underneath that something's hiding beyond. So wait until it seems like more of a rocky than sandy ledge to step down back onto the path we've been following.
Right. So, what is the next problem that faces you on your journey, and who's gonna solve it for you?
I imagine that as we're going, there would be like a large, like at some point in the past was a very important like archaeological site of some kind that has now been overgrown, and because this is the only area that has like life in it, when plants are no longer tended to, they tend to grow much faster and much larger out of the way. And so we come to like a very thistly and like sharp, just brine, not brine, the vines that are completely like covering it up, and it would be very difficult. Just well, for him it wouldn't. For everyone else, it'd be very difficult to just walk through them. And I think Dax can have this one.
Oh, Dax is gonna look at the brambles in front of the group, look back, look at the brambles, just be like, all right, and use brute strength, which I have as one of my wises, to just tear through them to create a path for the rest of the crew.
All right. That's what you do. So you have the wise. So that's just, yeah, you can just use that.
Just make a Dax-sized hole in
Yeah.
the in
Yeah.
the
Dex
which
is bigger than everybody else.
Yes.
So, yeah. So as you make your way through, what do you see to your side essentially that tells you, okay, it's a good thing we're getting through this. Like there are dangers hidden in here, perhaps poisonous plants or just massive, just spiky brambles or something. What do you see here that makes you very glad that you have this sheer brute strength that you do possess?
I think that, like, I'm gonna just keep on with the brambles terminology. I think that there's like spikes that could like impale if they weren't like broken and moved out of the way to create a safe like path for us to walk. Not that impaling would mess with half the party or most of the party, but it Dax thinks it's a danger, so I'm going to like go through and make safe walkway so that there's nothing protruding into the path that would block their way through.
Right. And after you, well, make it through there, you continue along your way through the Beastlands. You see to your side another sign of wildlife, perhaps undead, perhaps living, perhaps both. So what is it that you see here?
You said wildlife?
Yeah. I'm also saying this might be your last chance because I don't get to roll the pool to make the T-Rex appear or something.
Oh. I think that as we're leaving this bramble patch, I'm like, man, that was, pretty good. And I turn, and zombie dinosaur is approaching.
What kind of dinosaur?
Ooh, and let's go with T-Rex. Let's just go straight
All
to
right,
T-Rex.
let's go with hey,
Let's go right there.
I feel like I just turned
Muted.
into just like a foot of like zombie T-Rex.
Yeah. Adrian, I think you're muted, but yeah, you're muted.
Is it not working? 1 second. Okay.
Do a quick refresh.
All right, I need to look up a stat block for something.
Zombie
I'm
T-Rex.
not sure I've ever seen the party be like, no, we're doing too good to avoid the encounter. Oh no, the encounter!
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, I wrote T-Rex on my animal list, so I
You-
will be using
yeah.
that
I mean-
at some point.
Angel, you could
Hey,
have just said Triceratops. It's very docile and nice. You just, yeah, no, T-Rex.
Or
T-Rex.
no, T-Rex.
pterodactyl. Or
Hey.
Yeah,
Now
But-
we all want to fight a T-Rex.
but here,
or
Number one.
raptor, or
Mhm.
It'll be
Uh-huh.
useful later if we survive, because
If we
you can
survive
turn
is
into
a
you
key
can turn
word.
into a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Man, I
Yeah.
can't wait to make an all new character for the next game.
Yeah. Come back next week for episode 2, everyone, with the brand new cast who was the backup crew Dolores mentioned earlier.
I know.
Oh man.
Uh,
Sorry,
It's
guys.
my turn to make an asshole.
Yeah.
uh,
I'm the
So-
prettiest girl at the ball.
The T-Rex, the zombified T-Rex.
Can I
What does it
retcon that it's a
want?
juvenile, so it's not as big?
Sure.
How big
Yeah.
is my school?
Yes. T-Rex. Young T-Rex.
Young T-Rex.
Got
Mhm.
that young T-Rex.
Um.
Young money.
Yeah. Let's knock the T-Rex down to just 4 dice.
Appreciate that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yep. Very kind,
Um,
very kind.
Would have been
Very
6
kind.
dice otherwise. What is the
Oh
T-Rex
boy.
here for? What does it want here, and what is it perhaps scared of?
I think that it was just minding its business, and it's scared of other zombies? Question mark.
Hmm. So we will begin with Sift.
Hi, yes, it's me.
Yeah, because you started this whole thing, so you also
Yeah,
get to
I
end it.
know. It's like,
That's how
what?
the- that's
Oh,
co-
I did something, and now I have one of the hardest leaps I have to
Uh-huh.
take.
you start this, but you probably won't solve this all in one go. It's at least extremely unlikely that these all roll 3 or lower. But yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
how do you approach this T-Rex situation that you have? You don't need to fight, but you need to do something to make it past the T-Rex.
All right. I'm willing to do hurt myself for this, but I was thinking if it's possible to see an open wound and seep into it and try to see if I can just hold it in place for just a little bit so people can run by and pass, and I'm willing to roll dice and take a thorn for whatever.
Yeah. Why would you take a thorn again? I mean, there was something. I just don't fully remember it.
It was from burning my hands. My
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's still there. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not. What would you roll with here to do that? Is that
Right. I don't know. I feel like that would be brawn.
okay? So you're
Which-
physically getting in there. It's not a magical manifestation of being a shadow.
yeah. Well, see the thing. Well, I mean, I don't have much like magic cool doohickeys that I would use other than to like.
Right. So
I do have according to plan, but I simply cannot think of how I would have like what flashback would have like. Yeah, I knew this was coming. Like,
flashback to Sif just looking at zombie T-Rex droppings and like, yes. No, but you do have assassination expertise, which means +1 die to stealth, tracking, opening strikes. That's the big one right now.
Listen,
because this
every
is an
time opening strike.
Yeah. So whatever you roll, and if you say it's brawn, sure, then you can roll 2 dice +1. And we'll see how that goes. As you physically enter the... Okay, that's...
Hold up.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh no!
Yeah, how do you feed yourself to the T-Rex?
I get in there, I stop it for a little bit, and its own musculature just crushes me. to what
Oh.
extent is up to you.
Yeah, so you don't get to roll the 4 dice for the T-Rex because you failed.
Yeah.
And you will have to resist now again with... I'm not going to say brawn. You are inside the T-Rex and you realize that was probably a bad idea. You are
Just
halfway
sounded
in
cool.
there. You can, yeah, it is going to just, you're directly in reach of its claws. You need to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I think your wits and agility are the same. So,
Agility's 3,
oh,
wits is
okay.
2.
Okay, yeah, you have two. Okay, yeah, okay. You can roll agility or wits.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like agility is going to be better for you.
Yeah.
But to avoid being essentially clawed by the T-Rex that you have just attached yourself to,
Mm-hmm.
you will need to roll. And somebody can possibly assist here at a push, but then whoever assists will also get close to the T-Rex and possibly also get bitten or clawed at.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I shall roll first.
That's better.
It's
That's
messy.
not catastrophic, but yeah. um, messy success on a resistance roll means, well, you avoid most of the trouble. Just most.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I think what that means is you are going to not get injured, but you will get a mark for brawn as you get slightly just roughed up by a T-Rex. And you can say how you escape as you notice the little flaw in your plan from earlier.
Yeah, I thought, it's got to be some like psychologically just jarring thing to just not being able to move some parts of your body. But then the thing is they're not known for their wits, their brains that much, the prehistoric animals, so they're just like, I'll just flex it harder. And they did.
Yeah.
And I kind of get like bits of me just kind of like dissipate, and I kind of like that the existence just starts leaking away, and I kind of slither out, falling out of some sort of wound or gash from this
Yeah.
animal that not from me but from some past trauma, and I kind of fall almost apart. I'm like kind of within their shadow and just kind of barely. I am more transparent due to this, so there's less physicality
Right.
to me.
And that is your mark to brawn then. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Well, that didn't go to plan. The T-Rex is now thoroughly agitated. Who reacts first to this as it just rears back and Jurassic Park just roars at you?
If
Really?
its
Oh.
if its mouth is open, can I try to get the zap shoot into
Ah.
its body to electrocute it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that sounds like brawn or agility to me.
Yeah, agility makes more sense because I'm trying to
Yeah.
aim it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can also just spare track it with the full force, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
how big these shoots are, but
As a skeleton with no
Listen.
musculature, I would like to use agility.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Cool.
Okay.
Those
well,
dice did not roll at all. Looks like they just skated in.
no. The T-Rex swipes with its tail, I would say, the incoming, surprisingly agile T-Rex zombie. I will grant that, but that roll was grim enough to. It swipes it back at you. Your own potion with the zap shoot in it is coming your way, ready to electrocute you. And I would like you to react to that.
Okay.
Perhaps with wits, but probably with agility.
Um.
if you can justify another stat, you can do so. But
Yeah, well, no, it's I want to use wits. I'm trying to figure out how I could use wits.
Hmm.
Could I, knowing, so did I throw like a bottle at this thing? Are you imagining it in like a bottle for the
It's
potion?
your potion. You tell
Okay.
me.
I guess my thought it was like a plant that I've like magically imbued. So like
Oh,
it's
okay.
like a
Sure.
bamboo shoot,
Yeah.
if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
I guess everything that I'm gonna try to explain is agility. I'm just gonna try to
Okay.
dodge out of the way. Actually, no. You know what? Let's give this a shot. I'm gonna try to catch it.
Catch it. Okay.
Okay. So
With
I can
agility.
reuse it.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what? Let's try it. Agility, you think?
Hmm.
Cool.
Hey.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if this was messy, you would still electrocute yourself while catching it, but you just do it perfectly. Okay.
Incredible.
Okay, so yeah,
No
you
harm,
and
no
the
foul.
T-Rex play a little game of hot potato, and who's next?
I think solely out of ego, Aaron sees Sift try to like take control of this and is like, "Stupid shadow, ghosts do that." And I would like to try to possess the T-Rex.
I like
Okay.
that.
Right.
Stupid.
Is that something that you have a specific rule for?
I
or
have
is
a
that
wise and haunting, so I don't think that it. Maybe I'll let you decide if haunting counts possession or not. But I was thinking,
I mean, you have that, and you also have the talent otherworldly form, which
mhm.
can
And I
interact
took
with
slip.
object.
Yeah, I have
Oh.
took slip between small gaps, fly high, and appear barely visible with those.
Okay. So, all right.
Yeah.
Haunting. A haunting is specifically not possessing, but you
Mhm.
can you can at least haunt the T-Rex, I think.
Hang out at its walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a presence roll then.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to haunt a T-Rex.
Yeah.
And do I add one for that? The haunting.
um. Let's say we can do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well. All right. So how does that? Let's see what effect it has. It has some effect. How does it look? What are you doing?
Yeah, I think if realizing it's much too big of a creature to get a full-on possession, still needs to get the point across about how the aristocracy and knowing your enemy is far more better than having wild beliefs about society, is going to essentially like just have to the T-Rex, it would hear like weird ghostly wails that are distracting it, preventing it from really focusing its attention on us, feeling its muscles trying to like clamp up as it's just like having a weird effect taking it over, and while not being able to fully like possess the mind, doing enough fear to it that its attention is not on us and is on its own reality it's experiencing as it's being haunted.
All right. Also, I think you didn't see the roll, right?
No, it was a private roll.
Okay, yeah, I forgot to. Yeah, I have two places in Foundry now to adjust whether it's private, and I forgot one of them, so I'm just gonna re-roll.
Okay.
It's gone. Okay, so how do you? You can narrate a little bit more. How does this
Incredible.
T-Rex just come face to face with?
We'll
I
take
think
those
the
Tell the
haunting
truth about its existence as you haunt it.
the haunting is so present that like this T-Rex remembers when it died and sees probably like in the face of Dax a giant predator staring it down, and just like this little juvenile T-Rex collapses in fear as its mind is broken at the terror around it, and when its mind breaks, the zombie form can no longer hold itself together and just splatters into bone and musculature and dead T-Rex.
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was just gonna run off, but okay, it just the animating spirit leaves.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well,
That is how you possess things.
I'm not in the mood to talk right now. I'm just trying to starts kind of like trying to touch like parts of the body to just phases out more than usual, even as the ghost is who owns the parts, just or not the ghost, the shadow, just like, fuck, damn, that hit hard.
So that means Sean gets to narrate how you leave the Beastlands behind.
I imagine that some of the party is very inquisitive, so finding like just little like Aaron for sure would want to have a trinket because everyone knows nobles love nothing more than taking things that don't belong to them and putting them in museums. So when he has his own home, he wants to display like the thigh bone or something of this T-Rex, and so is going to be like scavenging for those. Um, and then just sees like on the horizon where it goes back into like the desert we've seen. You're like, well, there's a nice path that way if anyone wants to enjoy the flora. We're running out of time, but we're going to go that way, and we're not going to step. We're going to walk. Those of you that don't need to, I don't know, breathe, don't. And we like are just going to get to like the edge where I imagine like the grass flows over into like kind of like a little grass waterfall back into the desert land, and just takes things with all of us and hops over back into the exterior of the Beastlands.
Right. And that brings us back to, as we leave, by the way, there's still something following you. I just never got to roll the dice pool again that I made for beasts. There was still something following you, but as we see you leave, it's just making its way through a deck-sized hole in some vegetation, emerges on the other side, and has a meal ready there, which is a freshly dissolved T-Rex zombie, I guess, and gives up the hunt for you, as you have successfully avoided that consequence. You did have to deal with a T-Rex, but not the other thing that could have been, you could have had to deal with two different things at once. Anyway, we return to the Wild Wastes. You have made it out of the Beastlands. In front of you now, not far away, is the mountain range you're headed for. That will be tomorrow that you go there. But first, you have another decision to make.
Mhm.
You know that there is a watch post that the Attins have left to warn the three-headed Attin of any challenges coming his way, or their way. There are three heads. If you go the direct route, you will in fact encounter big, beefy, bloody boys. But there are also two perhaps hidden passages with their own risks. There is an active volcano, and there are some kind of passageways through it. It is, as you might imagine, very hot there. I'm not sure how that would go for Erin in particular, and also also you, who is covered in vegetation. But you can make it through there. Who knows what kind of creatures await you in these blazing, molten tunnels. And then there's an old mine. With the old mine, there is some talk of it being haunted. But strangely enough, there's no contact between the mine and the Spire of Bones. So if there is an undead there, it would be almost perhaps somebody outside of the regular undead hierarchy, or it could be something else. Maybe the talk of it being haunted is just a rumor and there's something entirely different there that awaits you. Of course, like I said, you can just take the direct route and approach the Attins head on and just take your chances with trying to attack an Attin guard.
Mhm.
I mean, if we
Can we
Get
bribe
some-
these guys? Sorry.
Possibly, but with what?
Oh, this gold pouch. I'm using my story point before the end of session.
I don't know
Uh,
if gold is useful. I'll be real.
I mean, we know that bones and gold are useful. Do you guys think that if we tried to bring the T-Rex skeleton to them, we could bribe them with it?
Mm.
See, that would be an opportunity for a flashback. For
Oh, yeah.
safety.
Yeah, I can just do that. You let me know. I'll click that button. I'll click that button. I'm down with that. That's a good idea.
If we want to try to bribe the Ettins and yeah,
The Attins would maybe not have as much use for bones as undead have, but
that's fair.
yeah, somebody might.
The teeth.
Yeah,
Maybe they need the thin bones to make medical needles, so they can do medicine
At Etten
or
surgery.
tattooing.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
Attins have.
Etten rhinoplasty.
What I want to meet the Ettin getting a nose job. That's what I want to meet.
I want to meet their doctor. That's one heck of a doctor.
Yeah.
In character, maybe, who has an opinion to voice on where to go.
In character. Old minds. I don't want to deal with people anymore. And I know that hot stuff, molten tunnels, is gonna burn. You with the flesh, and you with the flowers. Like this is just not conducive to surviving.
I think either the direct on or the mines are my preference.
I
I
do
do
not
like
want to
the
go
idea
in the
of
volcano.
finding
See?
a snow volcano. But the idea of finding those who are in society but outside of it that you could then subjugate and show that you are the rule would be a very nice thing to find in the mines. And also, if it's haunted, we probably have something in common and could easily use diplomacy to pass through without issue, where the Ettins probably don't have the mind for diplomacy.
Yeah, I'm not that diplomatic, I'll be real.
I also am not that diplomatic, but I can punch a thing, if that's helpful.
Punching is a very good form of diplomacy. Many people are trained in fisting for when they need to take down their opponents in a social battle. It was the historically accurate term for it.
Thank you.
Yep. I know what I said.
And I'll say it again.
Yeah. I am playing this character true to Victorian form.
Maybe you could teach us about fisting later, Aaron.
Yes, it would probably do us all well to know fisting.
I'm just more of a knife guy.
Does anyone have a strong opinion?
It sounds like we're leaning towards old minds. Watch Post was a good maybe, but the fear of potentially like alerting wouldn't be good for what comes next. So I am okay with the mines.
I
If
think
you'll
that's a
need
good plan.
like a torch or something,
I mean,
we got good eyes.
I
Hey
don't-
DM, do we have dark vision? Sorry.
One eye.
I don't have eyes.
Oh my bad. Bioluminescent fungi that you use for eyes.
It's a gaping hole where one of my eyes should be.
Yeah, a lot of us do have just
I
nothing
was gonna
for
say, Aaron
eyes.
has black
Yeah.
voids with like ichor pouring out of them.
Yeah.
Mine is also a black void.
Yeah. So none of
GM,
us have
what-
eyes.
What
Yeah, only
constitutes
one of
dark
us
vision?
has one eye. Amongst all of us, are we the fates?
There is one eye. It's this one.
Between four of us, though, there's an imposter among us.
And I can't see which one it is.
So the mines.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Alright.
Uh,
Mines.
incredible.
Yeah, all right. You, then you
Yeah, all right.
all right, yeah, you approach the mountain range. There is another rest. We'll just skip that because we don't have that much time left to record. You approach the mountain range. It is cragged and doesn't look all that hospitable. Oops, that's the wrong one.
I recognize that lightning. Okay.
Yeah.
The imps, they found us.
The imps are back. And you already see looming in the distance are ever taller and taller mountains. And built into one of them is an enormous ancient fortress. Some people say that it was built by the storm giants of old. Who knows what happened to them during the magical calamity? They might have just been swallowed up by the storms that now ravage the lands. But now it is overrun by Ettins, who are, well, not as magical creatures, mostly interested in food and hoarding items. And that is where you will be headed, but for now, you are making your way to an old abandoned mine. Most places are abandoned by now, especially around here. As you approach it, it looks, well, you still see a few signs of previous industry, a few bits of scaffolding maybe that have sunken into the ground over time. A few metal items still in, well, mostly disrepair and rusted, but a few pickaxes are still around. And from afar, that is how this mine appears to you. As you get closer, it sounds at first as if a storm is brewing again, but then as you get closer and closer to the mine again, you hear that there's some sound coming from within. Howling. Whether that's a creature or some other phenomenon in the mines, you will see, and we will all see next session.
Go. Let's go.
Woo!
And that's it for today.
Yeah.
You've made it to the mountains.
Awesome.
That was rough for me.
there were
In
some
multiple ways. One, getting
rough
a work
rolls
call,
in
and
here.
two, almost dying.
Yeah.
I really appreciated the terrible throw to an amazing catch. Thank you.
Yeah,
Just- well,
let's go around and say
Mhm.
who we are, where people can find us. We'll go in reverse order. So, Wiz, if you would like to start.
All right, yeah. I'm Yanis with he, him. I've been GMing this today. When this is airing, I am also GMing on twitch.tv/StarcrawlRPG on Saturdays. Time zone, whatever. Check it out. Check out Starcrawl on Blue Sky. There you'll find the actual time, whatever that is for you. I'm GMing a game of The Between, which is Victorian era Monster Hunters. No zombie T-Rexes there, but other things. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm doing right now, this and The Between. You can find me as Wizard Styles on Blue Sky. And also, actually, I forgot that earlier, on itch.io, I have a game out there. It's a one-page RPG about goblin sleuths solving mysteries. That's it. Thanks for watching. And yeah, Sean, do you want to popcorn it over to somebody?
Yeah, we'll just keep going around. So, Adrian, you'll be up next.
Hi, yes. I'm AC Lawrence 24 on the internet. Adrian to those who know it. But yeah, I've been Sift. Sift's been fun. A lot more angry and assholeish than I am. Unless you know me, then we just do this normally and banter like that. Um, but yeah, it's been fun. You can find me on Dungeons and Degrees, my podcast, and uh, I usually have a Friday game with we're just playing Rhyme with Frost Maiden. It's just really chill, relaxed, low production. We're just there to have fun. Yeah, I'll be at Gen Con. I don't know when this is happening. If not, I'll be at PAX U. I'll be everywhere. At least twice a year. I'll be somewhere.
Going live after Gen Con. So, PAX U!
I'll be at PAX U.
Yeah.
Sign up for my event. That's most likely going to be okayed.
Nice. Clint.
Hi, I am Clinstra on a lot of social media. You can find me most active on Instagram. I will also be at PAX Unplugged. You can catch me out and about. I do a lot of different things. I wear a lot of different hats. Follow me on Instagram to see what happens next for me.
Angel.
I'm Angel. I played Dax today, and it was fun. She's a bit more of a lumbering idiot than I imagined, but I kind of love her. You can find me at Detention Gaming. That's D10TION Gaming. I do an actual play TTRPG with an amazing group of people. It's called Ashkeeper's Legacy, and new episodes air weekly on Sundays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which we've been doing really well about posting every week, so hopefully I can keep that up. But would love to get eyes on and get feedback, because we do it because we love it, and I would love to share that with you guys.
Then here on the channel, the next time we're going to be live is next week for the live episode of this one. And then after that, I'll tell you a lot more, because later in August and then September and October, we have, I think, 5 miniseries that will be running back to back into each other. And so the summer of one-shots is over. The fall of miniseries, because Sean said yes to a bunch of people, is here, and we're going to live for it. And there's also the podcast, which I believe, if Sean is remembering his editing schedule right, maybe on Monday, maybe next week on Monday, the final episode of the Crit Award nominated podcast Help Action Needed will be going live. The end of Arc 1 will be there. If it's already out, it's because I did it as 1 episode and not 2. And it's long. If it's not out, it's because I cut the finale in half, and there's a second half coming out this week. Tune in to see what editing Sean does in the next 3 weeks. But for now, that's all we have, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you as always for joining us. Hope you stay hydrated. Hope you stay stretchy. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.